Hi, hello. Welcome back to the show. This week we have Celebration Guns. They're back again, except this time it's almost the full band. So that was really fun. This is a really wild episode. It was just hanging out with the boys, popping open some cold ones with the boys. So that was this week, and we had a really good time. Their new album is phenomenal. It is technically, and this isn't a secret, it's already out, even though the album release show isn't for a bit. It's not until September, but the album is out now on Spotify. So check out the new Celebration Guns album. It is very, very, very good. It's definitely, just put some time into it, man. It's worth it. All right, thank you guys so much, and let's get on with the show.
Slightly. Yes.
Oh,
there you go. Please pull that out.
The morning zoo.
But find the perfect opportunity.
Yeah.
For
Yes. This is the morning zoo.
The afternoon zoo crew.
God, I fucking hate those radio shows so much.
They're my favorite.
This makes me think about it, though.
This podcast stands in protest to all of those stupid. Well, it's the top of the morning hour. Let's get on the Simeon machine. All right, guys. Welcome to the show. We have Celebration Guns here again, except this time they brought Justin brought two other members with him this time who haven't been on the show before. They said, fuck Ryan. Ryan's gone.
Yeah, I hate him.
Ryan's been kicked out of the band. Who do you have with you?
We have Peter Coleman. Introduce yourself, Peter Coleman. What does that sound?
I
don't think you're going to hear it when
I think I'm positively charged to be here.
What do you
I'm
do
sure.
in the band, Peter Coleman?
Charmed, I'm sure.
Junior.
The drums, the electric
nice.
drums.
What about you,
Percussions.
Chris?
I guess I'm Chris.
Yeah, we have Christopher Ignacio Blanco.
And I'm like one of those guitars you hear.
You're the only guitar that I heard when I saw you guys at Last Exit, or at least the only one that I was able to pay attention to.
Oh, no!
Ooh, shots fired at Justin.
No, not shots fired at Justin, just because I was like, oh, there's so many going on. Because I hadn't heard that in your guys' music previously. I guess that's a good place to start. Chris, when did you come into the fold?
I guess Instagram where it started.
Are we talking about him entering the band or the finger tapping entering the songs?
Both.
Well, that was Craigslist.
Yeah, can I say my perception of you? I don't want to steal your spotlight.
No, go ahead.
But so when we tried out Chris, he walked in the door. Obviously, we'd never seen him in person. So picture this: he's a dude. He's got long, shaggy hair, a stringy beard, and he's wearing a big shirt that says "Get your Smokey on" with Smokey the Bear on it. Baggy sweatpants, and I think sandals with socks.
No.
So that was
I never wear sandals.
No,
with socks.
there were sandals with socks.
I never wear sandals.
It was just socks then.
Just socks.
Just socks then, yeah. that makes more sense.
He came in with no shoes. But yeah, so we're like, what's this guy's deal? But what did you think walking into that situation, trying out for a band of beautiful men?
Well, if you remember, Ryan wasn't there.
Yeah, so that made it a lot
I
better.
was like, I even made a joke. I was like, Ryan from Morning Maxwell in my head. And it turns out it was.
It was him, yeah. Because
Nice.
so Ryan was in a band that Chris was obsessed with, sort of. Yeah,
in high
That's
school.
crazy.
So that connection is there.
Ooh, that's good. Now, when did the finger tapping take place? Because that was not
That
present
was-
on the earlier work.
Now, that was Instagram. And
That was Instagram?
Yeah, and then our old drummer Tim was like, hey, we should use this. And then I was like, okay, if Justin and everyone else is down.
Talk on the mic a little bit more, homie. There
Oh.
you go. Get really up. Get really right up on there.
Well, he said, yeah, I'm down, and that's how it happened, I guess.
Very cool.
I was like, I'll write more parts,
He would take videos of himself playing finger tapping stuff.
Got it.
So that's what cued us in that maybe we should use that in the song. But it was our drummer who exited very soon after that suggested that we start using his riffs.
Really? He
Yeah.
just tapped out. I can't believe it.
He tapped out. Yeah. Perfect use of that sound effect.
So now, when you were here before, you had talked. How long have you been making this new record?
We started in September of 2016.
Got it. So you
this
were
is-
talking about it the first time that we met.
Yeah, absolutely, which was October of 2017. And Peter Coleman here had just joined the band 3 months earlier, and suddenly we were in the studio with his connection. This guy, Alan Leggett, that's who Peter connected us to and said that he did a great job with his band, Flying Scorpion. And how did you meet Alan Leggett, the guy who recorded and produced our album Probably Worth It, coming out September 8th at the Rebel Lounge on vinyl cassette and CD? Peter?
Wherever music is sold. We met him at the venue that used to be Rocky Point Cantina. Then it was like Little Havana or Havana Club Havana.
Like it was in Cuba?
Where was this?
Yeah, it was Cuba. We were on tour in Cuba.
Got those discount rates.
It used to be Dos Gringos on like 8th Street in Tempe.
Oh shit!
And then it was a couple different venues, and it was at the CD release that he engineered for Killing Spree.
Okay.
And so Flying Scorpion played that show, and he came up to us afterwards like, "Hey man, I liked your stuff." It's like, "I did the Killing Spree album. You guys want to record?" And we're like, "Let's do it." So we did.
Nice.
And we enjoyed it, and I keep recommending it to everybody I know.
For some reason, I thought that you worked with Bob.
I did, but that was on the Me That Used to Be EP
Oh,
that we put
got
out
it, got it.
before Peter was in the band.
Is there any? He's coming on the show tomorrow.
Is he?
Yes.
Whoa.
I've never met him though. Is there anything that I should like bring up to break the ice straight off? Bob Hogue is who we're talking about, producer extraordinaire, Flying Blanket.
Let's see.
Depends on how long a conversation you want to have. You could talk about vintage clothing.
I'm sure it'll be a good amount of time.
And glasses.
Oh, is he good with clothes and stuff?
Ask
Oh,
him
yeah.
about
He's
his Twin Peaks connections and like
tip-top.
the. He's literally like befriended someone from the cast of Twin Peaks.
Is it David Lynch?
Nope.
Oh,
And he's
okay.
not in the cast. You loser. But yeah, so ask him about that.
Okay,
It's
cool.
pretty interesting.
I'll have to do that then. Twin Peaks. I'll
But
remember
this is
that.
about us.
Yeah.
Matt, so,
Okay, well, I'm
stay on
sorry.
topic. No, it's okay.
So he's just doing that because the last time I had him over, I kept fucking with him. So now he's getting me back. So now it comes out very soon. You guys are doing it Rebel though this time.
Rebel this time.
Why? Why Rebel this time?
Because Crescent wouldn't have us. No, I'm just kidding. No, but you say this time because last time was Crescent Ballroom, and the timing, we kind of wanted to go for the Crescent thing. We were gung ho for that, but things are different with Crescent. I don't want to get into it a lot, but I feel like things have changed with Crescent over the last few years. Maybe the opening of Van Buren, but I don't think there's a huge local band thing going on at Crescent these days.
I could see that.
As there was a few years ago. I'm not sure what it is, but it didn't feel as easy to sort of get an in there. And plus, I mean, we're 3 months out and already just so many weekends are booked. September, we didn't realize, is actually a gigantic month for local bands releasing albums.
Really? Who's coming out with stuff in
Let's
September?
see. Scattered Melodies, who I've never heard, but I've heard the name of
I've heard of them, yeah.
Because so we originally wanted the September 28th because it is a Friday, and it is exactly 5 years from Friday, September 28th in 2013 when we played our very first show.
Oh.
So this is also an anniversary show, so we wanted to have that exact date. So we were looking for that at Crescent, and they said, yeah, we have 8 other shows ahead of you that have holds, so we'll let you know. I'm like, well, that's not going to work out so well. So what I figured out was what needs to happen is I need to put a potential lineup together that'll like actually impress the venues. So I was kind of talking to Stateside about Valley Bar and Crescent, and it was like, yeah, okay. You know,
Valley
like,
Bar would have been weird.
It would have been a little weird, but there was a lot of that. And then I was like, I love working with Jeff, with
Jeff
Psycho
Taylor.
Steve, Jeff Taylor.
Oh,
yeah,
Jeff Taylor.
yeah. So I started talking to him about it, and we locked down September 8th. He's like, give me a decent lineup, and we can give it to you. So that's when I started asking bands, and it's a weird thing. I don't love it because I'm asking bands about a show that may not even happen because I
that's
could
weird.
tell them the lineup, and they'd be like, oh, but someone took that yesterday. So
I don't.
Bye, Celebretia.
That was my thing. Is I would always, if someone asked us to play a show but they didn't have a venue yet, I was always like, okay, well, hit us back up when you have a venue, and maybe we can figure it out from there. Because
But in all honesty, it's not just because we didn't get to do it at Crescent. I'm actually happy to do it at Rebel. For one thing,
awesome.
Rebel seems to just make sense for us.
Yeah.
I think we could come close to really selling out, or at least packing that place out. And we play there so often, and they're happy to have us there, and they work with us, and they've hooked us up with like shows with bands that we like. We got to play with Owen, which is like an obsession for me and Chris.
What's Owen?
I cried.
It's one of the dudes from American Football, his solo project.
Oh, nice.
And the Velveteen, which is a band we love, and we made a connection with them, and now they like kind of dig us, and are like one of the guys is hitting us up for stuff. So we've made some good connections through hookups from shows at Rebel, and it's valuable to us, and we like the venue, and I think Rebel has a good reputation, so I think it's going to be a good spot. And also for selling merch, because I got to tell you, that Lumberjack show that I did in April at Yucca, not a place to try to sell merch.
No.
It was abysmal. Like, the amount of stuff that I sold of Lumberjack at that show, it
Yeah.
was, like, depressing. That made me just, like, not even want to do Lumberjack
Are there
anymore
any
for a while.
are there any 40-year-old punks on your compilations?
No, there's not
That's
too
why.
many. They're kind of spread out throughout the band.
That's why.
So I think Rebel's going to be great for the release.
Rebel, I would say, is much more up your guys'. I mean, I'm no authority on the idea, but I would definitely say Yucca would have been a weird.
that
that would have been a weird one.
It would have been tough. To do.
But yeah, dude, like. Yeah, definitely. Rebel's awesome. Steve's the fucking coolest. He's the coolest dude ever.
You're all in love with him now that you had your podcast interview with him.
Twice, because I lost the
Two
first
interviews.
one. Yeah, I lost the first one, and he's not stopped giving me shit about that.
Yeah, that's fair.
The second I hit end recording on the last one that he did with us, literally the second I said, "Thank you, get stoked," and I hit end, he takes his headphones off and goes, "You gonna lose that one too?" It's like, oh fuck, Steve.
Then he kicked Daisy and like punched Alicia in the face and stormed out.
Oh man, yeah, he's great. He's a real ball buster for sure. But I mean, I'll take it any day of the week because it's Psycho
I'll let
Steve.
him bust my balls anytime.
I mean, it's Psycho Steve. Let's be real. But yeah, I think that's gonna be. So what exactly is the lineup?
The lineup is we have Instructions opening, and then we have Bear Ghost, and then Captain Squeegee.
Wow.
And then us.
You're headlining this?
We were gonna play first, but we figured it's our release show. We should probably. I have a thing. I don't really like it when bands put a different local band headlining on their release show. I'm not trying to throw shade.
No, that's
and
weird.
I get that. Like if we had Jimmy Eat World playing our release show, I guess they should probably play last. Or like a huge band, but if they're like within 500 people of you on Facebook, it's like as far as likes, it's like, well, don't make them play after you.
That is weird.
Let's say 2,000 of you. You know what I mean? Like there has to be a huge significant reason for you to put them after you at your release show, and that's just been a thing for me. And
what's the thought behind that? Why do people do that? Yeah.
Because they think, for one thing, they think their people aren't going to stick around, I guess.
Okay.
For them, like they don't want to stay as late.
Okay.
And I guess if they think the band is going to bring more people and the crowd, they don't want to play and have the person before them's crowd leave. So they want that person who they think is going to keep the crowd to play last.
I get that, but
And
if
I
you're
get
putting
it.
together a release show, you should have your shit together.
It's got to be
enough.
you. You got to close it and just be confident with it. And the thing that helps is Rebel is actually making the show end at 10:45. So
It's a good time.
We're cramming in the 4 bands between 8 to 10:45. So there's gonna be some like
Tight
30-minute sets and quick turnover.
You're definitely gonna have to put on deodorant before the show.
No.
You're not gonna be stressing.
Chris, you can be the one who doesn't wear deodorant, and I guess I'll do it.
Sweet.
I've heard. Do you guys remember the Alzheimer's argument with deodorant? No,
Talking
I'm
about
the
like the
There-
chemicals in it
Yeah,
and all
people would
that?
say like you can't use scented deodorant because it gives you dementia or something.
What was the chemical? There was a chemical. My grandma told me this all the time.
Really?
I should know this.
Was your grandma smelling?
Aluminum something. The aluminum in it is like what does it?
Well, Chris, you posted a picture of some growth that happened under your armpit, and I was like, please
Axe
take
body spray.
Please take that you're in Celebration Guns off your Facebook page now that you've
Why,
posted
what was
this
on your
growth off
armpit?
under your armpit.
What was it? Like
was
a bunion?
Big ass fucking cyst from deodorant.
Oh, really? From deodorant? What was happening? Was it
It
getting
was
trapped
like the
into your
gel
skin?
kind. I
Uh-huh.
guess so. Yeah.
But were you allergic to something in it, or was it like clogging your?
I think it was
pores or
just
something?
clogging my pores.
Really? Very interesting. Sensitive pores.
I mean, you could see it was flowing out like lava. I mean, on my Facebook.
Damn, was it kind of relieving?
Oh hell yeah!
I
I couldn't
bet,
lift
right?
my arm at the
Oh,
last day,
shit.
so I was like, "Fuck it!" I took a pin and just popped it.
Good for you. That's what I
fucking-
want to always do. Anytime I get some kind of, if I get like you get like a zit on your leg that becomes a boil because it's in that fatty area, I just want to stab the fucking shit out of it like I'm Elliott Smith. Like I just want to, but I never do because
Dude,
I'm always.
was Elliot trying to pop a pimple? Is that really what it's been about all these years? Oh my god, we could have had so many more beautiful songs. It was before Claricel really made its mark on the world.
Sorry, guys.
That's not quite okay.
That's an R.I.P. rap horn, by the way. That's a rest in peace rap horn.
Yeah. Wait. What? Oh,
Rap
yeah,
horns.
Rap. Yeah.
Rap-
Then they're called trap horns.
Trap horn.
Trap
Oh, a
horn.
They're
trap
called
horn.
trap horns. Actually.
Trap horn. Got it.
But yeah, that's as much as I know about that. I don't know how to dab or anything. I'm not very in with the young. So you don't know how to dab either, apparently.
I know.
I can dab better than that. What about you, Chris? You got a dab in you? We should move on to something
He has
else.
a different kind of dab that he is aware of.
I don't know what you're talking about.
There you go. He knows.
I still I've done dabs like once because I had a
Okay,
response.
Grandpa Slusser. Let's try that again. What have you done with dabs?
I shoved them on my ass.
I've done dabs.
I had a friend who was being responsible because a lot of people who have their first dab experience go really wrong because they heat it up too much and then they vomit. It's always what happens, but it's a heat related thing from what I understand. So my friend was nice and he actually like did it. Wasn't too hot. It was kind of, and so I thought it was fine. But God, it was years before I did it because I was afraid of the horror stories I've heard about dabbing first timers.
I almost felt like I was gonna faint.
Yeah?
The first time, but I was like,
Are you one of those guys who goes deep? Like when you're undertaking THC, you just like you really fucking go like panic attack city. Let's do it.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I felt like I almost OD'd on spice once, but I was just like,
that's different.
But I was like, man, if I'm gonna go out
Spice?
tripping
On
balls.
Spice?
Dude,
So
it was
2008. It was in Apache Junction.
Old Spice. That's where the armpit thing came from.
I was like, screwed. I want to try it, you know. But it was that like $30 a gram, like really potent. One hit will get you fucked up. And I smoked a whole bowl of it.
Oh,
and I felt like I was ODing.
I have a tattoo, a really ugly tattoo on the back of my left calf, and my tattoo artist did it while he was smoking spice. and which is weird. Like spice is a weird because I drove him to AJ to buy it behind the he would say a code word like it was a fucking spy movie. He would say a code word and they'd bring out the spice from behind the counter because they still had some after they banned it.
Yeah,
Take some salt and pepper and a little cumin.
Yeah, so that shit's weird. Like I was watching him smoke it and it was like it was just weird. It made weird noises.
Crackling and stuff.
Yeah, like crackling. I was like, this is not good. And then he was like, all right, let's go. Put my needle in your skin again.
Well, if the guy who invented it said, "What if you're smoking this? You're stupid."
Is that what happened?
I'm
it was
pretty
like,
sure he said the guy who invented spice was like, "Dude, you shouldn't have smoked this."
well, the whole idea behind spice, right, was that it was like weed that wasn't weed, right?
Yeah,
it was like
supposed
sprayed.
to be legal.
It was
legal weed,
yeah,
but
legal
you
weed.
could OD on it, so it's like you might as well just smoke.
But I remember that though. Like growing up, there was always like these drugs that came and then they went away. Like I remember salvia when I was younger. Like I heard about salvia for like 5 years, and then it was gone because no one enjoyed it. Like
I think that's one thing you just try, and then you're like, okay, that was cool, but nah.
yeah, I've never heard. I think salvia
Never
was just
again.
one of those things where most people were like, "Fuck this! This was not fun. This was awful," and then it just went away forever.
Yeah,
But bath salts.
yeah.
Bath salts came and went.
They're still out there.
Are they
Trust
still out?
me.
Are they still out there?
Uh-huh.
I don't. What was that? So, do you guys know what that was? Like what bath salts were supposed to actually be?
It's legal cocaine.
Salts that you would put into your bath water and
Yeah.
have a relaxing couple of hours.
That was my thought when I first found out that like bath salts, like Epsom salt, like they're smoking Epsom salt, like this is having that kind of
my
effect.
parents' cupboard. I can get that for free.
I had a
Why
coworker
would I buy
that did
it?
that. Like it was
Oh,
legal
no.
cocaine though.
Oh, so you actually know what it was supposed to be?
But in the thing, it said glass cleaner, so it was coated. So it's like
Windex.
I'll give you a right to the store, but I'm good.
Man, that's rough. See, I've never even done like hallucinogens. I've gotten crazy off of some edible weed, but aside from that, I've never even had like I've never taken mushrooms, never done acid, none of that shit. And I've had a lot of guests tell me to, and I'm just afraid, man.
You just got to go with it.
You ever tried getting high on life?
Yeah, man. That's
like
what I do.
PJ.
You're right by Kiwanis Park. I would just be like walking around there every day. Like, oh, look at this
I haven't been to Kiwanis Park yet. I know I live right there, but I haven't like gone over
right
there yet.
there.
Feed
I
the
know.
ducks, man.
Yeah, feed the ducks, do a little fishing.
You allowed to feed the ducks there?
No, don't feed them like bread.
Why not bread?
There's some, you can
I've
like
heard it's
Google
not
what
good
to
for-
feed wild
I've heard
animals.
it's not good for ducks.
Duck food.
Duck
Yeah.
food.
There's a section at Walmart.
Maybe. Like there used to be things around lakes where it'd be like, here, put in a quarter and get this food to feed to the birds. Or the
Really?
ducks. Not there.
No,
it's
no, I
Kiwanis
understand.
Park. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not It's not like.
Sewage, I would
Central
imagine,
Park.
is
Yeah.
what those ducks eat. I
Yeah, you
don't know.
actually just get a bunch of the water and gunk in your hands, and you're like, here you go, ducks. Here you
Yeah,
go.
it
This
on
is what
their-
you want.
The water
their
has
duck
texture
bills.
to it. It's like there's solids in it. You can feed the ducks.
Chunky.
Oh,
It's like
man.
a soup.
So, so Justin's looking at.
There's twigs.
There's some. That was a mallet for a glockenspiel that Daisy ate.
Daisy.
So there you go.
You crazy dog.
So yeah, the glockenspiel is still there, but the one of those mallets is gone forever. And there you go. There you have it. Was that a nice? Was that a nice
sad
little F sharp
glockenspiel
right there?
sound?
Yeah, well, that was a low G.
I'm just.
It's your glockenspiel. You don't know what it's.
But he would know. He plays that in our band.
Really?
Yeah, he plays that instrument on 1 or 2 songs.
Really,
2
you got the
songs.
Glock out on
1,
stage?
2, 3 different songs, maybe. I think. Eventually.
Oh, that was so embarrassing.
God.
I got the Glock in my Rari at all times.
He's got the Glock in his Rari.
The Rari's just.
What's the
space,
Rari?
The space next. The Ferrari.
Oh, Ferrari.
I think that's like
I
a
thought
rap
it was like a
thing
drum
kids
thing.
say. It could be. If I made a case called the Rari that Glockenspiel's going to, I'd make billions. Nobody steal that idea.
Yeah,
Nobody
dude.
steal that
the
idea.
Rari McCulkin.
Yeah, Rari
God,
McCulkin.
I'm full of really bad jokes today, guys. I'm realizing that
You're
now.
with the right people.
Mick Rari. McCulkin.
So, do you guys have what was the idea with this album going into it that made it different than the last one that you guys went into?
This one wasn't gonna suck.
The last one was good. You're
Everyone
on
was gonna hate it.
Shameless.
I'm just kidding.
Alan Leggett
Shameless.
is awesome.
Can I say that again?
It's
Celebration
me, really.
Guns
It's
were in
me. I'm not gonna
Shameless.
Yeah, right. Okay, we could say PJ makes a difference. Like, he made this album amazing.
It was all
His
me.
drumming.
The co-producing.
The difference was, I guess, just the finger tapping riffs that we added in. 5 of the 10 songs are based all around the finger tapping riffs. Like, Chris sent me a whole bunch of riffs. I mean, they're all in random order, and I would kind of formulate it all into a song and present it to everybody with, bass and another guitar part and vocals and very, very rough percussion for drums to build off of, and then everyone would just kind of go with it. I think that was a big difference. And also just our first full length, it just felt very ambitious. We also were able to
I always forget that the other one was an EP because there were so many songs.
We've
on
had
it.
3 EPs and 2 splits and no full lengths.
Yeah,
So
there was
that's
the
why
gun. There was the gun heavy one. The I Love the NRA cover that you guys
Quitter.
did. Yeah, Quitter.
Yeah.
I'm really happy that you guys are a supporter of them, by the way. So
Oh,
good for
absolutely.
you.
Yeah.
They actually endorsed this album. They were like, you know what? We're gonna fly some banners.
That's why
when this
that
album comes out.
that New Times article you referenced earlier in the other episode
Yeah.
was called Not NRA. So
Really?
that should have made it clear for you.
Okay, well, there you go. Not NRA. Well,
Yeah.
sorry.
Actually, look, if everybody in the world took their guns and put them into a pile and then just melted them all, first of all, everyone standing nearby would probably die. But also, there'd be no guns. Like, if our whole world was like, hey, we don't need a gun, I'd be happy. And you know what? Someone's going to beat me up and question my sexuality over my statement right now.
Yeah.
There's a certain type of person that
Alex
may feel that way.
Jones.
Yeah, Alex Jones would probably be mad. Like,
Dude,
they took me off of the internet.
Dude,
Oh,
people
censorship.
are fucking pissed.
Yeah.
People are pissed.
It's so great.
But I do have to say, and we'll get back. This is a point that I was wanting to make on the podcast, but
Let's
I haven't
hear
had
it.
a chance up until now. And then we'll get back to the album, I promise. But I want to make sure I say this because it's timely. So what you were saying, Alex Jones has been removed from iTunes. He's now been removed from Spotify. He was removed from Facebook. I don't know if YouTube as well.
I think so.
There's just a full-on ban against him right now. And my opinion is that I don't like Alex Jones, but I completely believe he should be allowed to say all of those things on all of those platforms.
Not if you violated the terms of
That's
service.
exactly.
For each of those
It's not a free
applications.
speech issue.
Yeah, it's
that
not
he
a free
violated.
speech issue.
Although
because these are private corporations.
they're also coming after him because he's horrible. You know what I mean? It is their violation of the policies, but they just know he's terrible and he's spreading hate and misinformation.
Sure.
So I get that that's probably part of their reason, but they could absolutely stand by terms of conditions and
Yeah.
he's not following them, so it's fair to take him off if that's what's happening.
I agree up to a point. That the thing with Alex Jones is that I've looked at, and I haven't seen everything, but I looked at a lot of this because I was following all this stuff on Twitter and whatnot, and I was looking at because everyone kept mentioning the same couple things. They all had the same buzzwords, so they kept saying harassing victims of school shooting families or whatever. That was the thing that everyone
Sandy
kept.
Hook victims.
Yeah, Sandy Hook
He
victims.
says it doesn't happen. He didn't.
Yeah,
it
I
didn't
know.
Happen.
Yeah. But moreover than just saying it didn't happen, which that's fucking stupid, and he should be sued for that because he did like libel other people. I get that, but there were certain people who were saying like, look, there's a video on the internet, and none of them linked it, where he harasses parents of shooting victims. So I found the fucking video, and that's not what happened. Like, he's having a gun debate with somebody who he didn't even know was a victim of whose family, who was an affected family member, and then at the very end of the video, they tell him that, and he apologizes, not very sincerely, but he at least like apologizes. But it's shit like that where I'm like, okay, chill the fuck out. Like, he's not that great of a dude. I get that, but like, motherfuckers put in 20 years of broadcasting and shit. Like, you don't have to agree with him. Just don't listen to it.
It's a tough call because you don't want to censor people. You don't want to take away free speech. So everyone should be able to say whatever they want, even if it's not true.
Yeah.
And then now we have Trump as president. So it's like,
I mean, if anything should be a testament. I know, right? If there was ever a time where Alex Jones shouldn't be censored, I would assume that it would be during Trump America, but apparently not. But that's another reason people are pissed at him, though, because he was a Trump correspondent.
So then now he's trying to distance himself from Trump.
Is he dissing himself from Trump now?
I thought he kind of was.
I don't follow InfoWars.
No.
I don't follow InfoWars.
I've been up and down and in the rabbit holes and out, and I just had to take a break because I couldn't handle it anymore.
Yeah, I don't follow him. I think he's funny. I think he's interesting. I liked him. His episode on Joe Rogan was fucking awesome. He did like a 3.5 hour episode with Eddie Bravo and Joe Rogan. It was wonderful.
What has he ever done that's funny?
He just says shit that's ridiculous.
I'll have to look through all this stuff.
Keep in mind, in mind, I have a very dark sense of humor.
Yeah.
But so, I think it's funny. No, I think some of the shit that like he has this great like anytime he like freaks out and like grabs his breasts, like I think it's fucking hysterical.
It's all act. I mean,
I know it's all acting.
He agrees. He's like, I'm like playing a character.
I know. That's why I think it's funny.
When you get all these people in the world and the country. Hopefully, people outside of the world aren't listening to this crackpot.
Yeah.
But these people are believing the stuff he's saying when it's kind of like reading the tabloids at the newsstand. Like, people are on the news. Well, actually, people on the news are kind of saying stuff that's like tabloid worthy. But
yeah, clickbait.
If Alex Jones is saying all this stuff and claiming it as fact, and then all these other people are out there like polishing their guns, like I'm ready for the race war. Like that's not good. Like
sure.
Like,
but they're dummies. Dummies are gonna follow anybody with. I mean, like
but the dummies have guns these days, and they got.
I've always had
ones.
Guns. Yeah, but
like,
the dummies have always had the guns.
But everyone's so quick to react to things without processing it. That's the problem.
Yes.
If he was just making stuff up, we'd be like, oh, okay, he's just like one of those late night alien talk show guys. But like, he's in our face 24/7. Trump is in our face 24/7. All this stuff is constantly in front of us. So the more people have that in their peripheral, they're thinking about it, and they're like, oh, you know what? He said that before. I kind of believe it now. Like, it's like FaceTime. The more time that's in their face, they're like, oh, yeah, he's kind of right. Like, even though there's no fact to it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And it's interesting, man. It's brought up a lot of hard questions, like with certain circles of friends and stuff, and because like neither me or anyone I hang out with is an InfoWars fan, but like it brings up interesting conversation. And one of the things is that you bring up a stellar point, Justin, which is that it's not a free speech issue. It's a company issue. It's whether or not they want them on the show. Whatever. Yeah. So it has nothing to do with free speech, but it does often bring up the question of free speech and what hate speech is, because it's kind of a vagary, right? And B, if hate speech,
black and white.
You think it's black and white?
Hate speech is pretty black and white.
Okay.
Like if someone's like calling for the extermination of a race, or like
sure, but isn't that a threat, not hate speech?
I mean, it depends on what the listeners are. I guess it depends on the reaction.
That's
really.
What I mean.
I mean, hate speech is hateful speech.
Sure.
That is targeted towards groups of people that usually are either minorities or a persecuted group.
I mean, I do that towards Soulja Boy fans and Nickelback fans all the time on this show.
Oh, but don't you just love Soulja Boy?
That's what I mean,
he
though.
May
like
be
it
a
all
joke,
depends.
but he just goes for it. He just believes in it and he sells it, and people just eat it up. Like he's so positive. You know?
But but it's an interesting conversation to have, because I don't really know where I stand on the whole because from all of the information that I've been presented with and the perspective that I have currently, and I'm not a very big belief guy. I'm a very much idea guy. So if you can change my mind, not hashtag change my mind.
I'm an ideas man,
but
Michael.
If you can turn me around on this, please do. But I so far haven't seen any compelling arguments as to how hate speech laws is not unconstitutional. Like, I haven't really seen anything that's been provided to me. Like, sure, there's things you probably shouldn't say because you'd be an asshole, but I don't understand why the law has to be involved in that, like, in any way whatsoever, unless it's a threat.
Oh, and this
then it becomes
instance,
assault.
I don't say the law necessarily.
No, not this instant, but
yeah.
just in hate speech, like, in general. Like, that's the thing I have been kind of rolling over in my head lately is, like, how is that in any way...
Justin has lyrics about hate speech. Talk about that.
Oh, let's see. We go. Let's bring it back.
It's an old song.
Well, I think it's interesting because the thing with James Gunn and Guardians of the Galaxy 3, a lot of it is just
what's happening with Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I don't know anything about this.
So a few like basically white supremacists for the most part, but definitely
off to a great start.
Alt-right dudes dug into James Gunn, the director of Guardians of the Galaxy. They dug into it and found that he made like a rape joke or something.
Okay.
So
alt-right guys did this? Why would they do that?
I don't know.
Well,
because they're angry because Roseanne compared some black lady to a monkey, and they're like, "You're mean. You shouldn't have banned her show. It's so good."
That's funny. I didn't know that part about it.
To me, it feels like revenge. Like, hey, you know what? If she's not able to make this tweet, then he can't make that tweet 4 years ago.
Okay.
He did say terrible stuff, though.
Yeah, they were bad. They were bad.
Terrible,
they were clear. I mean,
George Carlin's made like 25 rape
and that's
jokes.
the thing. Like,
no,
if
he
George
was
Carlin
making like racist jokes.
Oh,
and, like,
okay.
He
James
was
Gunn?
Some, yeah.
I didn't see anything racist.
Oh
from
no,
him.
some people dug way back.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't know it was alt-right people. That's new to me.
I'm gonna go dig.
I thought
right
people
now.
were just Oh, it's probably all gone now.
No,
maybe,
I doubt it.
Maybe not.
Once it's on the internet.
So, anyways,
it's on the
he was taken off of Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So immediately, like everyone in the cast of Guardians of the Galaxy, so they wanted him back. And then of course it's just like the liberal hypocrisy. Like,
well, everyone's fiery. Everyone's fire happy now. Like that's the thing with seeing like Roseanne's posted way worse shit than that on the internet, and she's the first person to say it.
Hey, where's our towels?
Sucks for you. We don't live here.
Just kidding. We can share that one.
Yeah, if you want, you can share.
No, that's weird. I was just being funny.
But well, I think it's offensive.
It was funny though.
So
I can.
You're fired.
Where it's nice outside.
You're fired. Oh no, you're right. It's
just
so
kidding.
much. It's hot as fucking balls in here.
This is making for a.
We're all in it together.
It's like we're in a sauna.
Yeah, we're
having a podcast.
It's like a soup. We're creating a soup together with our bodily fluids.
Oh, that's a good idea. A podcast in a sauna.
Oh, that sounds
Nobody
terrible.
take that.
Anyway, we don't have to keep harping on it for very long, but I didn't know that, and I think that's very interesting about James Gunn.
Yeah, I wasn't sure that you were a Trump supporter, but I guess I just
now
that we've had
there
this
it is.
conversation.
Definitely not a Trump supporter. But before we hang it up, though, you mentioned liberal hypocrisy, and that's something that I've been thinking about and reading about a lot lately. I've completely, and anyone who follows me on Facebook knows this, I've completely distanced myself from the left, and as well as I was never connected with the right, but I've completely distanced myself from the left as well, because the right sucks because they're like anti-science and anti-woman and all this kind of bullshit, right? And they're holding us back in that way. But the left. The extreme left, like that you see on universities and whatnot, these are people who this is it's all identity politics, and it's all like wrapping yourself up. And if you don't believe in everything that I believe in, then I'm blacklisting you and blah blah blah. And it's very tribal, and I would say more tribal than the right. I feel like the right's more self-serving, they're more selfish, whereas the left is they're very motivated in groups, I guess, and it's very group thinky. It's very thought policey, because I never really liked political correctness that much. Like, sure, Native American other than Indian, duh, that makes sense. No fucking, of course, yes, but like South Park, the PC principle, for instance, stuff like that. I always saw as I get it. PC is getting a little out of hand, and again, Carlin's been talking about this since the 80s, but yeah, it's becoming weird. It's becoming very just kind of army of thought, kind of you have to believe what I believe, and if you don't believe in what I believe in, you're automatically a bad person. We're no longer allowed to disagree on anything, and that scares the shit out of me.
The problem is it's all about us versus them. It's black versus
yes.
white. And then everyone's thinking about that. We're going to spend all of our time fighting the other side. And in the meantime, whoever's in charge can pretty much do whatever they want, because we're focused on who's right and who's wrong. And that's why.
Good point.
In my ideal world, we would select two presidents, one from, if we have to be stuck with two parties, one from each party, and they have to make an agreement. The two of them have to agree on something before it happens. That's very simplistic and has a lot of flaws.
That's a very interesting idea.
What would you call that?
The Dinglehopper 3000 establishment. No, I don't know. I just
Nobody
think,
steal that.
Because it's like, well, now there's a Republican in power, but the Senate is the opposite. So now they're going to fight against it like Obama dealt with for years. No, now there's this, but these people are. I don't want to spend all my time worrying about the other side. And I do feel like Republican right wing is something I feel very against. But when I look at Democrats or liberals, I feel like they're not really accomplishing much, and they just have a lot of ideas, but nothing's really happening. And I don't want to be labeled either one of them.
Yeah,
and it sucks to have to feel pressured. Like, well, of course there's third and fourth and fifth options. No, there's not.
There's
really.
not. Yeah,
well, like, not that we take seriously.
Just kidding.
Yeah, Ron Paul 2020.
Those days are over.
Yeah, right. Fuck abortion and separation of church and state.
Is that what he's into?
Paul.
I have no idea.
Yes.
Yeah. No, he was for women's right to choose. He was pro-life, but he was for.
Oh, is that what it was? He was pro-life, but he was for like the state, it being up to the states
he didn't
or whatever.
want the government to be able to decide.
Got it. You know what Ron Paul's biggest mistake was? Having a fucking YouTube channel.
Man, that
brought him
was
down.
great.
I remember
great bad. Like it was just like shut up already,
dude. I remember like being a quasi supporter of him, and then I saw his videos on YouTube, and I was like, oh fuck yeah, never mind. This guy's fucking nuts. So yeah, sorry, Ron Paul.
But his son Rand will
Rand.
bring it home for us.
Rand kind of.
Is Rand gone?
He fell a little too far from the tree.
Did he? Where is he now?
He got a little bruised in the head.
Oh, really? Like in a Rick Perry kind of way?
Like some of his stuff started off okay, but then it was like, you think that? Oh, okay, nope.
I think we should come back. I think we should get the Rant is Too Damn High guy, because that's at least an idea that I can get behind.
And it's true.
Yeah, it is. And he had like a sensei. He was
that's
like a karate
what we can
guy.
all agree on. Yeah. Then really, if we go down that route, we'll all agree that we should all be socialists. Like, if you go the rent is too damn high route, like, I mean, there's a lot to be said down that path.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. That's
another path that we can go down is the new Celebration Guns album.
Thank you.
Yeah, good call, guys. Good call on the trap horns.
The trap whistle.
Now, did you approach this album differently from a songwriting perspective than the last one? How have you grown as a songwriter?
I've grown tremendously. I'm like an 86-year-old songwriter at this point, I would say. No, but Chris, his guitar licks, his tapping, had a huge influence, because instead of me sitting down and putting an entire song together and then presenting it, I put his guitar riffs into GarageBand and then wrote whole songs over that. It forced me to write differently. So I think with Probably Worth It, it's a completely different approach than our previous album. And I don't know, we're the best band in the universe, basically.
Has your lyrical content changed at all?
I guess it has. I've been trying to get more honest with my lyrics and with new songs, because we're actually going to record again in a few months, pretty much close to a whole album's worth of songs. Those are even more honest. But I think what I've been realizing over the years has been like to me a flaw in Celebration Guns is the vocals are kind of like another instrument. Mm-hmm. They're not. It's not like a band. Like I was re-listening to our episode from October 2017. And
episode number what?
Episode number 17.
I thought you
October
might, 2017. I don't know that.
I think it's 17. But it was humiliating to hear myself sound like a nasally idiot. And hey, we're hearing that right now, aren't we?
No, you don't sound like a nasally idiot. We all think that about ourselves.
Idiotic nasalish boy. But so I think since then, I lost my train of thought. But I will say, Celebration Guns for life, everybody.
Okay, so your lyrics.
Thank you very much, Mr. Slusser. So the lyrics, I think what we're missing is so we were talking in the episode about the mountain goats and the weaker thens.
Yes.
And
were we?
We were,
both of them.
because I brought up the mountain goats, and you were like meh, and then I was like, well, they remind me of the weaker thens, and you're like,
yeah, I like the weaker. So mountain goats are good. They just have too much stuff. I can't
like the weaker thens and David Bazan.
Too much music. Sorry, too much music in the first 6 albums. I was telling they were recorded through an ass.
There's a lot of music from them, but there is a podcast called "I Only Listen to the Mountain Goats." That's
there's
kind
a
of
compilation
amazing.
album as well.
Yeah, that's related to that.
He's a good tweeter, by the way. John Darnielle, right? Yeah.
I also started reading his book. We Love the Mountain Goats. No, I really have started reading. John Darnielle is also an author. I started reading one of his books.
I like No Children, and I like
Many Children.
This Year.
this year.
That's the name of the song, right? I'm gonna make it.
I thought these were
Yeah,
policies
if
that you
it
had. I was like, I
kills
like
me.
these
Yeah.
policies.
I like
No
those two
children.
songs.
The point is, what makes those bands great is lyrical content and vocals that feel like they're connecting with you versus just kind of like buried within like another instrument.
Yeah.
And I think I've been trying to break out of that. And recording with Alan, he actually encouraged me to sort of really push my voice and put a little more emotion into it. And I don't know how much that comes across or not, but compared to the me that used to be in our old recordings, I feel like I was very, here is the lyric, here is the thing. And Satan is good. Satan is our pal. That's
Totally.
a reference to The Burbs, if you've seen that movie with Tom Hanks.
Got it.
So
I thought it was a Watain reference.
it was very,
Tame metal band.
it was very, it was
Put on
very
the
like,
honest,
let's
really
get the
good.
vocal
Probably one of their
out.
lyrics.
And with this new album, I think I really tried to put some emotion into my vocals, and I think it made a difference. I think I want to go towards the vocals being more of actually like a lead in the band while still not losing all the instrumentation, because we have a lot of that, but I don't think we're going to connect in the way that I want us to if my vocals are sort of like in the background or like not meant to stand out. And a lot of it started as insecurity. When I first started singing 5 years ago, I didn't want to be the singer. I was kind of stuck with it. I thought my voice sucked, and I would bury us in mixes and wouldn't really put it.
Yeah, it's not as present as I would like it to be, for sure. In the
even in
earlier
probably worth it. Like, we've gotten that feedback already from people that it's not loud enough. I think it's loud enough in the new album personally, but
yeah.
we've heard that. I just want it to be, I want to be confident enough in my vocals, and I want to be honest enough in my lyrics that people connect with us that way, as well as just with listening to the music. Because everyone has bands they listen to where they're like, I love the music. I don't know what the lyrics are. I don't know what the vocalist is doing, but I love this music and it's cool. I want us to go a little bit beyond that. So I think it's probably worth it. I'm taking small steps towards that.
Good call.
But I'm not fully there yet.
I feel like a good example of a band who pulls that off really well in the local scene is Holy Fawn. I feel like Holy Fawn is really good about like vocals that are an instrument, and you can't always kind of tell what he's saying, but that's not really the point.
Yeah, they're very atmospheric.
But the problem is that his lyrics are so fucking good.
They are good. I've noticed that too.
They're so good, and like
Yeah.
I have to like look at them like to 100%. Maybe I'm just a Neanderthal, but like I can't always understand what Ryan is saying. But the lyrics are fucking fantastic.
Yeah, he's a great lyricist. I agree with that as well. And I think with Celebration Guns, I could be a good lyricist, but the problem is in the songwriting process, because I'll put a song together and I'll start throwing down some vocal ideas, but I'll say gibberish lyrics. Like, I'll just be like, that's one of our songs, actually.
And then they end up being on the album. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the
but
problem.
I'll say like a certain word. Like, so we have a song called Where You've Gone on the album. And when I was recording like the demo for it, the chorus, I just sang, I'd like to meet you where you've gone. I didn't even know what that meant. It just sounded good in the moment.
Oh,
when
I've
I
done
sang
that
it.
on songs before too.
And then suddenly I wrote the whole song about a friend that, I lost in like 2004 to cancer. And it made sense. And then we did a whole video around that sort of like theme of like meeting a friend in a better place. So like it all built off of this one lyric that I just made myself record in a demo. So I'd love to write lyrics ahead of time. I don't see that really happening anytime in the future with us, but I'm trying to get a little more honest. And I think probably Worth It is a little bit more of an honest look at us lyrically. And I think it's just more of all of us expressing ourselves, because Chris is expressing himself with his guitar parts. PJ is adding something new with the drums. I mean, some of the songs, there's like kind of like a general, here's an idea of what I want to hear on drums, but he always took it a different level. And then some of the songs, like Probably Worth It and Better Days, were basically completely him just coming up with stuff. So there's a lot more expression, whereas some of the older stuff was like, hey, this is kind of Justin's voice. For the most part, like everything is just kind of like what I'm hoping to hear from everyone.
Do you guys have any interest in signing to a label?
I'd like to. There is a label that I tried talking to. They're called Tiny Engines. Like, why not mention it? Like, it doesn't matter.
Engine or Injun?
That's a choo-choo. I'm sorry. That was a choo-choo.
Tiny Engines.
Tiny engines.
Engines.
Okay,
Tiny, not engines.
Yeah.
Like Indians, you
Yeah,
racist. But
I was just making sure.
like little like Thomas the Tank Engine. But he has
I
little
know. I
engines.
understand. I just like when it rolled off at first, I was like,
I just thought for some reason I got it in my head that they were like the coolest thing, and they followed us on Twitter. So I'm like, that's a sign they love us. And I hit him up, and I'm like, you guys followed us on Twitter. You must want to sign us, right? And they're like, oh, yeah, I think our intern added your Spotify playlist, but sure.
Our bot adder did.
And I was like, here's our song. You want to sign us? And they're like, I like that song. Send in a few more that sound like that. I'm like, here's more songs. You want to sign us? And then a few months later, I'm like, you didn't respond to that last email, did you? Well, how about this song? And then I gave up. So Tiny Engines apparently wasn't interested because they stopped responding. And that's the only label I even tried to talk to. Now, here's the thing. Signing to a label is kind of the same thing at this point as releasing a full-length album. Like, are either one of those things really going to skyrocket us to infamy?
No,
Probably not.
That's the thing. Labels are...
A label to me is just like, in my head, it's like, that's how you've made it. That would be so cool. Even just being on a small label, like,
it's a
it
tool
would
in
just
your
feel like we
toolbox.
made it. But I don't know if it will. So Lumberjack Records is all we'll ever need, guys. Lumberjack Records. I post on Facebook once a month, so we're probably going to get a lot of promotion that way, and we're going to be good forever.
European tour.
European tour.
No, yeah. I mean, I tried, but it's less of a priority now. But at the same time, I'd like to still try to send our stuff because I feel like people would like it. I'm the band manager, and I think at this point I'm kind of floundering. Like, I'm just not really being up to par with like where we're trying to go. Is just me like emailing people and making all the effort.
Yeah, I have to figure that out. I'm a manager of something now, and I have to kind of figure out what I'm supposed to do. Like, I took all of the social media stuff, and I was like, okay, I'm going to run everything. And now I'm just kind of chilling. I don't really know what to do.
It's so much pressure, and like
it's not like pressure. I mean, it's just
it kind of is though. You have to post. I'm like, okay, I have to post something. What am I going to post? I'm going to go on Instagram. Well, I need a picture. What's the picture going to be?
Yeah.
How's it going to match up with what I'm going to say?
I mean, that's easy. I mean, it's easy for me because like getting stoked is just me. So
yeah,
it's just like, oh, I can like today I just posted like here's an old picture of me looking way better than I look now, and then everyone loves it. So like, yeah,
that's what that sounded like to me. I'm so sorry.
One of them, you're taking your hat off. I was actually going to comment and be like, can you post one next week with you putting the hat back on?
Yeah.
We won't know which one is which. They'll probably be the same picture.
Yeah, so like that's kind of my thing is like if I post a picture that looks sincere, I'll make sure to make a joke and ruin the sincerity of it so that no one calls me out for being a douchebag. That's my whole entire thing.
That works.
So it's easy for me, but like I manage Sore Eyes now, and the whole thing with him is like I don't have access to your photo library like on your phone and shit. Like I don't know what to post of you. Like I don't want to necessarily have your photo library either. So it's like
just constantly getting selfies of Sam like every day.
Yeah, yeah, man, right? I don't know what I'm gonna find on his phone, man. But good dude. But yeah, so it's weird, man. So I mean, but what was it like going from managing the band to managing like this thing, this enterprise, this label?
The label, I don't think I've really put a lot of effort into it.
I would say you do. You have more physical copies than...
Physical copies, yeah. I mean, I have a huge box of them sitting under my desk at home. I think...
You also move them. You got rid of them that one night, didn't you, with the Phantom Party show?
Yeah, we got rid of a few there. I think people are less willing to spend money on merch.
Definitely comps.
Than I hope for.
Yeah.
And here's another thing with Lumberjack and how I've like kind of lost a lot of motivation for it. And I'm not trying to throw shade at a bunch of people, but I feel like a lot of the bands didn't really care too much about helping promote it.
Yeah.
About half the bands on Volume 2, which had way more songs than Volume 1, really put in effort, but then the other half are just kind of like, meh.
I mean, we didn't do much. We made like a post.
Well, you guys are broken up.
Were we broken up by the time it came out?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So
cool.
You're off the hook. No, but it's just.
Are you?
I didn't feel like I had a lot of support, and I don't want to make a whole thing like our scene doesn't support itself, this and that. And I don't think we're the best at supporting other local bands. The thing is, it's so hard to get anyone to see anything you post online that it's like, why would we post about another local band? We can't even get anyone to look at our own stuff. Like, what's the point of posting about whatever band we like right now? No one's going to see that either.
I would say, though, in the arena of honesty, with the Lumberjack stuff, I've only heard of like half of the people who were on there, and the half the people who I had heard of weren't really doing a whole lot as far as like pushing hard to stuff like a lot. Like I'll have a lot of the bands who I've had on here. The reason I have had them on here is because I can tell that they work their fucking asses off, and I haven't seen like any of those guys like on the comps.
No, that's absolutely true.
And I think that's why. I think because a lot of the stuff that's on the comps, like, oh yeah, I think I've kind of heard of those guys, as opposed to like we're fucking burning it up in the scene.
And
so
a lot
maybe
of
get
bands,
more of those guys.
Well, maybe I don't want to have those bands.
Well, fucking jeez, never mind.
I know I
Just a
sound
suggestion.
terrible, but I'm
a
just
suggestion.
saying, like, I also had this whole thing where I want to promote bands that need to be out there, and I feel really strongly about.
That's the most. I mean, let's be real. That's the most important.
And that's
part.
the tough thing because those bands don't have a lot of options. It's just the sad thing is The ones that I felt like could have promoted a lot more didn't.
Yeah.
It was really rough going away from that weekend at Yucca, free show, Playboy Man Baby headlining, and barely selling any compilations. It's just like,
how does Playboy
what
do
more do I
at
need to
Yucca?
do?
Do they do well? Because I've heard mixed things about them at Yucca. Because they're more of an all ages.
They're more of an all ages band. So I think they did great. The second night they did a lot better than the first night.
Interesting.
But
it's usually the other way around.
Yeah, but they brought it. I mean, they brought it together. Like they added a lot to the show.
Can't imagine fitting on that stage.
It's just like I think just promotion in general. I'm getting burnt out on it because of the means that we have to work with. Like Facebook is basically useless. Instagram is trying to go that direction. Like I don't know how to get people. The thing is, we have our 1,500 whatever likes on Facebook, which to some people is cool, some people is like nothing, but we can barely reach 30 of them. If we're not promoting it, maybe even 15 of them. So like I'll pay for promotions, and then maybe we'll get 50 people to like something after like 3 days.
But what do those likes even transfer to?
I have no idea. Like usually, if we post a new video or a new song, that's when I pay for it.
Yeah, but like, what do those likes actually give you?
I have no idea.
They don't give you plays. They don't really give you
sometimes people will watch the video.
So that's the thing.
Yeah,
street cred.
Street cred's important.
But honestly, no, for real. Like you came up to me once after I put up, I don't remember which post it was, but you're like, man, it was so crazy that post you put up had like 160 likes on it, and I was like, okay, cool. I want people to think that. I want people to think that it's cool that I got these likes, but no one fucking heard it. So like that's the thing. Like a lot of paying for promotion is not clout, but just like how perceptions of you, and that's unfortunately that's a part of how the sausage is made that people don't want to see. But that's the truth. Like it's just how people perceive you. Like to get plays on something is a whole other fucking thing. Usually, if I see a band on Facebook who's promoting something, I only listen to it if it's a band that I've already heard of. Like I get sponsors all the time on my Facebook who are bands I don't follow or don't know. They're just recommended to me, and I fucking go right past it.
The thing is, you should look at those because you know podcasts about local bands.
True.
That could be your next favorite.
But I'm not just doing. I throughout the coming months, I have a lot more national artists coming on than locals. I'm still gonna do locals, and I'm considering starting a podcast network where I get another person who wants to start local podcasts and have them just do locals, because I'm way more interested in doing national bands.
Oh wow!
I'll do the boring local bands.
No, it's not that. I think Phoenix should always have that, but I'm just way too ambitious. Like I just want to constantly move out and keep getting bigger audiences and stuff. So
travel or stay here, because nobody wants to come here.
Oh, staying here.
Hot.
No, a lot of people come here. But dude, like that's the thing. Basically, I just sit at work all day, and when I'm not working, I'm going through Crescent and Rebel, Valley Bar, and Pub Rock's calendar, and I'm just emailing all of their publicists.
Oh, so wait, has this happened yet or no?
I'm getting my first two. I don't know if I can announce them yet, but I'm getting my first two national acts. Or I've had some national acts.
If it's not Slayer, I don't care.
I couldn't get a hold of Slayer, unfortunately.
Couldn't get a hold of Slayer's publicist?
Yeah, unfortunately, couldn't get it. I've been trying, you know what I mean? Little by little, piece by piece.
So you're branching out. That's cool.
Yeah, but no, I do have some in September. I have 2 booked so far for September and a few maybes in October. But that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get more national. Trying to get more national. I'm always going to do locals too, because it's fun. I like hanging out with people from town. But I want to do at least like a few a month that are out of town.
Are you going to be able to compete with that? What is it, like the teenage kid that like somehow something Star, not Jeffree Star, Bryan Star,
World Star.
No,
I don't
know
what
I'm talking about? The teenage kid that somehow gets all these interviews with like the popular like tween metal screamo rock bands. And Bryan Star, he's got like a bazillion subscribers on YouTube. And I don't know. You got to compete with like teenagers now. That's what sucks.
Teenagers don't listen to podcasts, so I'm not fucking worried about it. Like
yeah, you're right. They're doing
maybe.
like live, they're like doing YouTube videos. Like you're going that route too.
Yeah, I do. Pretty soon, within the next few months, I'm gonna have a multi-camera setup in here where we're gonna film everything. I've been saying that for.
I've never been filmed on.
I've been saying it for a long time.
I mean, you were a second ago.
Yeah, you were. I mean, I have that, but I can't use the DSLR for that because it's just they're not made for it. So I'm gonna get a couple Sonys in here and Do it that way, Rogan style. I'm going to have someone manning the controls. Bloop, 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 bloop. Just go back and forth so I don't have to edit it later because fuck that. Like every time I start talking, like, okay, now I have to switch screens. No, I'm going to have someone sit over there and kind of do camera A, B, A, B.
I like you.
Smart.
I like you. Yeah, it'll be fun. It's a lot of money, man. A lot of shit.
So
we'll see what happens.
I can't wait for you to be rich.
I know. I can't wait. Can't fucking wait. And you'll be a funny little footnote on my epic ass.
Cheers.
What movie is that from? I don't remember what movie that's from. It's fuck. What movie is that? It'll be a funny little footnote on my epic ass.
Step up 2.
Step up to the
Keep on stepping.
Mean Girls.
Funny. Fuck. Anyway, talk about your album more.
Mean Girls 2. Keep on meaning.
I keep on meaning. I have to figure out. We should start a podcast called Meme Girls.
Whoa, I don't really like that very much.
For real though, I don't understand how that's not a thing yet. Like,
I think that might be. Somebody Google that.
Yeah, I'll Google
Please
it.
Google that while we're
Girls.
It's
Mean
gotta
Girls
be.
has to be.
There's a podcast in Phoenix where they just watch and do commentary on Golden Girls Golden Girls episodes.
Is it Corey Gloden? Is it called Gloating Girls?
Oh, I don't know who that is.
Someone pay me for that. Corey Gloden hasn't been on the show?
I don't know who that is.
Old bitch got problems.
Oh,
Am I
yeah.
right?
Oh, that's good. That's
Put
good. That's
that
good.
word in your songs.
He's
It's
a
gonna
singer
make
of
you
Wives.
Popular.
He was Corey Gloden Explosion.
Oh, funny little footnote. I don't even need to look
been
it
a
up. It's
bunch
from
of
School
bands.
of Rock. The other thing, Meme Girls. And who's the person you're talking about?
Corey Gloden.
Corey Gloden.
Pretty Young Things. Singer of Wives currently.
Oh, Wives. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to. They've been on my list forever.
I love
Get
his
'em on,
name.
get 'em on.
I just like seeing the word Corey Gloden. Like it makes my soul happy.
Meme Girls. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's a thing. Meme Girls is totally a thing. MemeGirlsShow.com.
Don't click on that with Safe Search, please. There are dogs present.
Oh, this does not look good. I think this is a high school project that someone just got access to Squarespace from. That's what we're looking at here. All right, well.
This episode of Getting Stoked is sponsored by
Meme Girl.
Squarespace.com.
Yeah.
Squarespace, make a half-ass
I use-
website. People will look at it.
Dude, you're not even fucking lying. I need to get an actual developer to do my website. I'm not happy
Wix. Get a website with Wix.
Does it have to be a .wix or can I use my own domain?
Is that their
name?
domain? Is .wix?
I
That's
think
terrible.
one of them does that. Yeah, for sure. Unless I don't know. Maybe you pay more. I don't work for GoDaddy. I don't know.
I know a guy. We know a
I know
couple
guys
people
too.
that work for GoDaddy.
Oh, do you?
I feel like that's like the job you do between your 20s and 30s.
It is.
When
You
your
make a
music
lot
career is
of
kind of
money.
washed up.
Yeah,
Like
no,
you just
it is.
work at GoDaddy. Like you didn't
So-
even apply for a job. You just have one.
Who are these wash-ups? Yeah, that's as soon as your band breaks up, you get a letter in the mail.
Hey, we noticed you need a job. Come on down to GoDaddy.com.
Oh man, so who are these wash-ups you're talking about? You want to mention them by name on the podcast?
No one in
all
my
washed
band
up?
or current or ex bandmates.
Yeah, it is one of the dude. But GoDaddy, like, they make fucking money.
They have
and
great
get
corporate
company
parties.
Yeah.
Is it like
Money,
who
money,
headlined
money,
last year? Was
money.
it like Jay-Z or Drake or someone? Like it's always someone huge.
Really? Probably Logic.
Yeah, it was probably like
Logic was
it might
on
have
Rick and
been
Morty.
Eminem.
I imagine he was probably in that too.
It was someone popular. That
Someone
the
popular.
youths like.
The two Utes.
The two Utes of
The
America.
Utes. The Utes like
the
'em.
Utes of the nation.
The
The Utes of the nation. That should be a sports podcast for the what is that football team or something from Utah?
The Denver
We
Utes.
are,
The
we
Utes?
are.
Is
The
it Denver?
Utes of the
The
nation.
Yeah.
Denver Nuggets? I don't
Somebody,
know.
please pay me for that.
Apparently, you just need to start like a whole thing where you just get paid to name people's like just use puns and portmanteaus to name people's shit.
You come up with brand names
Natalie
that people
Portmanteau.
pay you for, but
Natalie Portmanteau.
Natalie
See, I always
Portmanteau.
wanted to start a band called Urethra Franklin.
that exists. Google it.
No,
I
it doesn't.
guarantee
It
that
does not
exists.
exist.
You've Googled it before, huh?
I definitely
Show us your
have.
search
What about Queef La Queefa?
No, it's Queef Latina.
There
that's
you
just
go.
racist.
Like,
See,
if
that's
you
a
were-
good
you know,
one.
If you were gonna take the letter, you know what I mean, the letters in it and sweep it, sweep it. Here we
Queef
go.
Cantina.
Sweep the letters.
What's
oh,
it called? Where you where you flip it, flip the thing down, flip it in reverse.
Yeah, Urethra Franklin is only a thing in Urban Dictionary. It's not a band.
Did you check MySpace?
Oh, wait. Okay, guys, we're experiencing. Listen, we're all experiencing this for the first time. Listen to this. So there is a Urethra Franklin page. There is a There is a band called Aretha Franklin, and their album is called Urination. Urination. Urination.
Please tell me it was in 2006.
It was in 2016.
Ooh. Wow, someone's late to the pun game.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, there you go. Urination, playing on Bandcamp for €3 now.
Nice.
So I think it's 3 notes. What is it in Leicester, UK?
Raps.
3 what raps?
Falafel raps.
You
said euros.
Falafel Raptors.
Oh, euros.
I thought you said euros.
Fuck, this has gone completely off the rails.
Hey,
guys.
so did you have any other questions
know
besides
why you're
tell us
taking the
about
piss.
your new album? Or
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I don't come prepared for these
No, you
anymore,
don't need to.
dude.
You don't need to.
We just have a conversation. That's what people don't
I
want
like
to hear
that.
me
I like
asking
that.
fucking questions about shit. You know how it goes. You have that skip 15 seconds button.
That's true.
The second a band starts talking about their amps, skipping the fucking
So
15 seconds.
the new album, we used guitar amps.
Yeah. Did you use guitar amps?
Yeah,
You used Kempers or whatever the fuck they're called?
We use Kempers. I don't know what they are. But
Profiling amps.
Yeah.
GuitarCenter.com.
Kempers are the reason that the Blink-182 album sounds like a glass of milk instead
LA
of
Kempers?
like a rock album.
But what glass
Whoa.
of milk did they sample for this album? This is a profiling amp. Like,
cereal
just, like,
milk.
2%.
It just steals the sounds of another amp. So where's this glass of milk amp I want?
Yeah, I know. That's so fucking ridiculous. I see, because there was like a bunch. I remember, I think it was on a podcast. I was talking to somebody about, like, I was listing off a bunch of albums that I didn't like, and the guy was like, "Yeah, they all use Kempers for every one of those albums." And I was like, "Okay, well, there you go. That's what I don't like."
But the Kemper just samples other amps.
But it doesn't sound real at all.
Or are you talking about Axe Effects?
I don't fucking know. I'm using the word that's been explained to me as Kemper.
So, because I'm the gear nerd.
Okay, it's
I
the thing. No, it
play
is. It's the
every
prepackaged.
instrument, and
It's like you have like all the different sounds that you can use, and it's not like made in the actual amp itself. Like they're pre-programmed, right?
Well, now I don't know what we're talking about. Because the Kemper Profiler, basically you plug your amp into it, and then it takes like the tonal qualities of the amp and like saves that as a setting. So like it's basically like a modeler, kind of like a Line 6 amp models other amps.
Yeah,
It's
that's what
doing
I've
that,
heard.
But like with real heads, like it's
That's what I've
doing
heard.
that. At least that's how I thought it worked.
No, that's how it was explained to me too.
So like it's actual amps, but it's not. But they're probably doing other weird stuff to it too.
Yeah, I'm sure. It just doesn't sound real. Like tech death bands do it. Like,
we're
crazy
talking
too.
about tech death bands. Then we're talking about like Axe Effects and just like plugins and inside
for
of the
sure.
recording,
But like John Feldman
programs.
uses them like crazy. Like he uses them on like all the records that he records
uses
now.
Kemper?
Yeah.
Wait, are we talking about?
John Feldman from the new Blink-182 album and Goldfinger and stuff.
Okay, because speaking of Feldman, I saw this little dead sticker. I was gonna say, when did they come on this show already?
Okay, we will talk about that after the show.
Oh!
There is a.
Well, I'm just saying. I know they were doing.
There is
some
a dead
stuff with
story.
Feldman.
There is a dead story, and they recorded the new album with Feldman as well. But I used to like Feldman a lot, and then he just started continually like, I can make a pop punk record in a week, guys. Let's do it, and they all sound the fucking same. So
Then
he's
again-
making money.
Then again, we could all do whatever in a week. But it's like, is that what we want to do? Or
I
do
know.
we
Yeah,
wanna
apparently
go
that's
crazy?
what he wants to do.
Do we want to really mic drums? Like, that's so old school these days. Why did we spend like a whole 12-hour day miking drums that sound like decently good? No, they sound good. But like, that's what's crazy about still trying to do like indie or rock or whatever you want to call this whole thing. Like, we're spending time doing stuff, whereas people are like, oh, sweet, I got a dance song out. Boom, I got a dubstep song that I just did in 2 minutes on the toilet. Like, it's crazy to think about how much time is spent making original music these days that nobody even.
Well, let's talk about that
cares
for a
about.
second. Is rock music dead, and is it going to have a comeback, and what's that comeback going to look like? I kind of talked about that a little bit with Steve when he was on the show. It's something that I like.
What do you
to
think? I got
revisit.
opinions. You talk
Dude,
about
here's
it. What do you
something-
think?
I realized today when I re-listened to our episode from October 2017 because I'm a loser. We talked about this in that episode, and we talked about it in the episode with me and Robbie. But I don't think I should share my opinion. I don't think rock music's dead, but this guy plays rock. He plays metal rock in a bland. Oh,
In
that's
a bland
diss.
182
That's
band.
a diss.
What's the
What's
A blend?
Yeah,
I think you meant a blend.
what
of
kind of
Blink-182.
rock
Peter, what's
and
your
metal
bland
are you
called?
playing?
I call it like heavy rock and roll, heavy metal.
What's the band
combo, Flying Scorpion.
Oh yeah, I knew that already. Got it.
But I don't think rock is dead as much as there's so much other music that is in the forefront as far as promotion.
It's not popular.
Online
it's
on the
popular
radio.
right
I
now.
mean, top four. Like rock has been in top 40, but like it's never been about rock.
Yeah.
I mean, even when there was like disco and R&B and funk and all that stuff, like rock was kind of always just, I mean, it was obviously big in the 70s and the 80s, and it inspired a lot of other stuff, but it was also
90s too. I mean,
by
grunge.
Oh, yeah. Like, it's had its time, but it's always kind of been in and out of other genres.
I guess that's right. I guess it's always kind of been back and forth. But now
you can't dance to it. That's the thing. That's why it's not popular.
Well, you can dance to that new Nickelback record, so I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Do you know it? Do you know what the name of it is?
No.
Oh, thank goodness. I was about to leave. But, like, you can't dance to that in, like, 7 seconds, whereas some, like, beat comes on and you're like, ooh, this is catchy. Like, within 7 seconds, you know who it is. That's not going to happen for a rock song anymore. That's going to be whatever any other genre is.
I think the radio has
it's just the fans
has a lot
fickle.
to play with that. I talk about that a lot. I fucking hate rock radio more than anything on the planet. Like,
I mean,
it's the worst.
I mean, I won't name names, but like I can't handle listening to KUP.
Oh no, you're good. I had Mo on the show from 93.3, and I straight up told her that I fucking hate KUPD, and they work in the same building.
I can't handle it.
I hate it. But
maybe
you know what?
At night, like Into the Pit, like.
You know
like
what?
He's doing good stuff.
She put it into a very interesting perspective, and I don't want to put words in her mouth just in case I get it wrong, but from what I understood from what she explained to me about it, being a radio personality, she said that KUPD is kind of slowly becoming a classic rock station.
Oh, I love that.
In so many words.
Pretty true.
In a certain way. Like, she might not have said it exactly like that, but that's the implication that I got, because, like, and not even in a shitty way, but think about it. People are, and I know. I have, like, my parents are like this, and my girlfriend's parents are like this too. Like, they put on KUPD because they want to listen to the music that was popular when they were younger, and that's exactly what they're playing. And if they're playing new music, it's either bands that sound like that, or it's the same bands releasing new music. So that's kind of and when she said it,
it's true.
New music.
New music.
and when she said that, I was like, you know, I dislike them a little less now. Like, from that perspective, I get it.
They're just doing their job.
But, like, at the same time, don't like it.
Think about,
like it.
Like,
that's what people think of rock now.
Did you ever listen to
to rock.
92.7? I don't even know what the call letter. I finally heard the call letters the other day. I've been listening to it for a while. It's like oldies, like Cool 94.5 used to be, till they did whatever they're doing now. I don't know if it's 80s.
Like 80s now.
I'm not going to lie. I'm 34 years old and I listen to the radio.
I don't listen to radio at all.
I have iPods. I have Spotify. But, like, in the car, I just want, like, a quick thing. I can just... But I stay on this oldie station, and I swear it was no commercials for the longest time. Now they're doing commercials, and I was like, no, like, I loved that it was just oldies with no commercials.
Yeah.
Like, it was all the good stuff.
Is it 107.4 that does some oldie stuff too?
Is that one that's
or
only on at night or whatever?
No, I think it's maybe, was it 94.5?
94.5 was oldies,
okay.
But now it's doing like 80s
well,
too.
Yes. And so it was 94.5 one day. I was driving around in the morning at an ungodly time I shouldn't have been awake for on a Saturday morning. And I had it on just for, I don't know, my phone was dead or something. Usually it's the last rung. I'm never listening to the radio if I can help it. But I put that on because it was inoffensive, easy oldies kind of shit. And all they did was they played an entire hour of America's Top 40 with Casey Kasem. And they even, like, everything, like all of his shout outs, all of his, like, a special dedication to all of his stuff. Like, they did it straight up, the whole thing.
The old school stuff.
And then they just, like, interchanged their old ads with the new ads.
Oh,
but
that's great.
It's like the long distance dedication. Like, they did the whole thing. It was really
That's
cool.
magical. That's when, like, music was something, I feel like.
It was cool, man. He's like, and here's the new single by Bruce Hornsby and the Rage. And it was like, and I looked it up and I was like, oh my God, this like radio presentation came out in like 1983.
That's
like, this
awesome.
is crazy, man. So it's cool. I wish there was a station that would like how cool would it be for like an XM station to all they do is play older broadcasts that are straight up the actual broadcast with the DJ and everything.
That might be a thing on Sirius or something.
It
Like
should
they've got
be.
like they have like the classic throwback channels that do that.
Yeah,
Maybe. I don't know about the broadcast,
but they're playing the music. I want to hear the fucking broadcast.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Like,
but it'd be embarrassing for us to hear like late 90s, early 2000s, like if like
rock radio,
if 103.9 or whatever,
103.9 The X.
If if 103.9 or 106.3 put out all their, could you imagine? We'd be like cringing, like, oh no, why did they
the
say
new
that?
hot track from Theory of a Dead Man?
New single by Sugar Ray.
You know what's really funny is there's 3 songs that I'm convinced were all written by the same person within the same week, and they all came out within the same like 2 years of each other. And it's Theory of a Dead Man's Bad Girlfriend, Bad Girlfriend, and then there was Nickelback put out Animal, which was again just about like fucking a chick and really being like vulgar on the radio. And then there was also Crazy Bitch by Buckcherry. All three of those songs had the exact same premise with the same kind of like, and they all came out in the same couple years of each other.
Look up who wrote it. It could have been the same person.
It could have been the same dude.
That's another crazy thing about old music is there was one guy sitting in a room writing stuff for all these different people.
Cole
and
Porter.
You never knew his
back
name.
In the day, yeah, totally. And people performing them. Like if you want to go back to the '60s and you had the guys who did all the Beach Boys stuff and they did all the cool Atlantic records from the Wrecking Crew. Yeah.
That's wild stuff, right?
Yeah,
you
it's
don't
super
get that
cool
these days. Well, you do. You just don't hear about them even more now.
Yeah.
Now it's like they're not even credited.
Yeah, I know.
Because they don't want to get beat up from writing 100 Nickelback songs.
Well, that's the thing. People get pissed off when you do it in a band, but it's cool when Beyonce does it. Because she's a singer. Like Frank Sinatra didn't write his own music. Elvis didn't write his own music. They're singers.
But the music's different. Justin, what if you could write 100 Beyonce songs? Would you do it?
Or that could be Chick Logic.
Maybe.
Please write a Beyonce. Write a song that you think Beyonce would sing and then send it to her I don't know, her manager?
If you were making Beyonce money, would you do it?
Yeah.
If you could fuck Jay-Z, would you do it?
You could be making Beyonce money. You could be cuddling Jay-Z.
Me and Jay-Z. He's a beautiful man.
Oh.
Would you do it? Chris, would you do it?
Do what now?
Write Beyonce songs. Mm-hmm. Like, have you ever looked into that?
Send her some finger tapping riffs.
Okay, so I like dudes. I'm a powerful woman.
Yeah, you're a powerful woman.
Yeah, you just gotta think like Beyonce.
Yeah, you're clouded by memes from the Super Bowl. Yeah, crazy stuff, man. Beyonce, but that's the thing. Like, people are totally cool with it because they're singers. That's what's expected. Like a singer, like I said, Frank Sinatra, Elvis, Dean Martin. Like none of these guys wrote a fucking single lyric for their music. Like, and that was totally cool. But like, so today, Beyonce, Rihanna, like Rihanna's writing some lyrics, but like these guys aren't writing their own fucking songs. So it's like, but when you find out that a band had someone write their own music, suddenly everyone's like, how fucking dare they? Like it's weird. It's like we look at them differently, and at the end of the day, they're both showing talents. And I can't believe I don't know why I'm not like trying to justify this at all. I'm not defending it, but it is an odd way to look at it. Like,
but it's entertainment. It's a job. Like, what is this? Like, we do this for fun, you know. Mm-hmm. Justin, could you? I mean,
well, no, you guys are trying to be famous, right? Isn't that the whole thing?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, we're trying to tour with Beyonce, pretty much.
That'd be a crazy bill.
Hey, bae, if you're listening,
you're playing Auction and you're opening for Beyonce, and everyone's just like, everyone's just dabbing on you, and like, what the fuck?
Stranger things have happened. Like some artists are like, "Hey, we're gonna bring out this weird band no one's ever heard of before. That's not our style."
Or stand-up comedians. Like Nirvana used to bring out Bobcat Goldthwait to open for them.
Oh, that's great.
That's craziness.
Was great. Is great.
I love Bobcat, dude. His movies are phenomenal. Love me some Bobcat.
I didn't know
Goldthwait.
He was best friends with Robin Williams.
Yeah, he was.
So I just watched that Robin Williams documentary.
Yeah, Bobcat. They were longtime good friends. The World's Greatest Dad is probably my favorite comedy of all time.
Yeah,
I think number one. I love because I like Bobcat's got this really just despicable sense of humor, and I like that. I like people like that. Jim Jeffries, Jim Norton. I like these guys who are just fucking despicable, but intelligent at the same time. That's kind of my whole thing. So,
I just like despicable but not intelligent.
So our president, despicable. Topical political humor. So, guys, is there anything you want to talk about before we wrap this bad boy up and send her home? That sounded really bad. I didn't mean. Those were just words.
You can wrap her up and send her home.
I was like, who's getting put in the trunk? What's happening?
I guess I would say check out Peter Coleman's band, Flying Scorpion. They write. I like
how you refer to
music.
him with first and last name.
I do. It's because I'm having a hard time with it because I've known him as PJ for most of my life.
There's been both during this talk, but you call me Jartholomew, Peter Jartholomew Coleman.
That's not his middle name.
It's a good one.
Jartholomew. If there's a Jartholomew listening, please get in contact with me. I want to shake your hand.
It might be a real name. No, I'm just. So we're working on releasing a video for every song on the album. So we did one with Patro Gaston from
Paper Foxes and Zodiac
Bash. And that's going to be a really trippy video. We just recorded that.
Trippy, you say? With
Trippy.
Patro behind the wheel?
Yeah,
I can't imagine.
Yeah, it's surprising. So we're hoping to have all 10 videos out, within a month or two after the release show. And that's kind of exciting. And I don't know, what did you think of the album? You listened to it months ago.
I did listen to it months ago.
Back in April.
But I have to say, I listened to it on like a shitty van speakers, so I need to like listen to it on okay. So at the time, I would drive the van because I worked at a different job back then than I do now, and I would pick up the kids and drop them off every day, and I would just listen to music in the van, and I heard it in the van, so I don't really have a really good pull on how I felt about it because the speakers are not good.
Yeah.
But now that you reminded me that I do have it, I need to give them that bad boy another listen. And we'll see what happens. I don't really do the album reviews as much anymore. Now that I signed to Caliber.
Signed.
Now that I'm with Caliber.
Are you ever able to just explain that on a podcast on what that means or what?
On what Caliber is?
Yeah, or what you're going to be doing.
Totally.
The non-alcoholic beer company?
No.
I've been waiting to hear that on one of your episodes.
Yes. No, it just hasn't come up. It's not hush hush by any means. Caliber TV is a YouTube channel that I've partnered with. I haven't put out a video for them yet, which is I guess why you're kind of asking or why you've been waiting. That's my fault. The video is being written right now. I'm not going to give it away yet, but I will say that I'm starting off my introduction to them doing retro reviews. So I'm going to be doing reviews because here's the thing. Their audience is really they have a very core audience, like not core as in dedicated, but like core, metalcore, deathcore. But that's the kind of
okay.
But they're trying to expand.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing. Originally I was like, hey, I should start off with you guys. Like they've never had album reviewers before, but they've got an accumulative like some kind of crazy millions of like listens, and they've got like 60,000 subscribers and shit. So I don't want to come in and like it needs to be a natural transition. So I was like, hey, Chelsea Grin just put out a new album. I'll review the new Chelsea Grin record. Problem with that, and I told Alfredo that the guy who runs it, I was like, hey, I'll do the new Chelsea Grin. He's like, fuck yeah, sounds like a great idea. We just did a live video for them because that's what they were doing right now is live videos. So I was like, cool. Listen to the album. Emailed him. I was like, hey, how do you feel about starting off my career with you guys with an extremely negative review of a band that you guys feature on the show? I fucking hate it. It's absolute garbage. I mean, what a shock, right? But I was like, I'm not into it at all. And he's like, let's go a different route. How about this? How about we'll start? So we both kind of came up with this idea where I'm going to start off the channel doing retro reviews that kids who are into that kind of music, and I am into too, rock, emo, stuff like that from like the 2000s. So like I was like, fuck yeah, I used to love that kind of stuff. So it's kind of like a retrospective stuff. So that's what I'm going to start doing for them. Cool. And then just because it's a safe, kind of easy transition.
So you don't get murdered by telling them that their stuff sucks right now?
Yeah, exactly. So maybe
you can say it sucked years ago. They were like, oh, we've grown since then. Yeah. We're not mad about that.
Exactly. So that's what I'm going to start with. But they're going to be mainly positive reviews. I'm not going to keep listening to an album that I think sucks. But who knows? Maybe I'll I like this album a lot, but I haven't listened to it in years. Revisit it, and it's not good. So that's what I'm doing for Caliber. I just need to get on the horse and record the video. I'm writing it right now. So yeah, and that's going to be a big busy. I guess I'm just kind of like, once I start, it's just going to be like busy as fuck.
Yeah.
Like as soon as I start doing that, everything's going to change.
You're hitting the big time.
No, it's not even that I'm hitting the big time. It's just that I have people to answer to. It's not just me. So it's like, so we'll see what happens. So, but the album reviews. Yeah, so once Caliber starts, I don't know if I'm going to end up doing a lot of local albums, unfortunately, because their people don't want to hear it, which sucks. But we'll see what happens. I don't know. If I can make money from it, then I'll start doing local stuff on my own channel. But there you go. That's it.
Just curious.
More seeing behind the scenes.
Yeah, no, I wanted to know that, but all I gotta say is just September 8th release show. we are selling our vinyl for $10 for people who actually pay to go to that release show, which is too cheap, absolutely too cheap. But for anyone who actually pays to get in, we'd like to make it affordable.
Fuck yeah, dude! It's going to be an amazing show.
Yeah,
it's going to be a hell of a lineup.
Kids tickets are still just $10.
Here we go. One more.
Jesus Christ! Last one. Lock the phone. Put it away. It's done.
Throw away the phone.
That was Peter PJ Colbin Bartholomew.
I'm so sorry. Once I have an idea, I gotta kill it.
But yeah, you know what? Fuck it. By the time this episode is out, that video will be out. We're going to say it like that. Fuck it. It's out. By the time you're hearing this, it's on my YouTube channel.
Which video? The Getting Stoked?
No, the one for Caliber that I was just talking about.
Cool.
Fuck it. I'm going to hold myself to that. By the time this is out, that video will be out.
That's a good
there we go.
Goal for you.
Yeah,
what about you? You got anything to say?
Yeah, you guys have any
Mr.
like
Coleman?
long-term goals? Anything with like alcoholism or drug abuse?
Like when to start having alcoholism?
Yeah, just like when you think it's a good time to start coping with it.
2019.
Oh, I thought you meant to start like seeking alcoholism.
2020.
Yeah, like,
Now is about the age, I think, when it's like, well, it's now or I just don't. Go
yeah,
for
right.
It.
You just go full Bukowski on it. I think you should.
I need a typewriter, right?
Yeah, or full Bukaki on it, depending on where you're coming from.
That's a lot of whiskey.
What about Chris? I feel like we haven't heard enough from you.
Yeah, we
You
haven't
got
heard
some,
enough from you.
some
I'm
insights.
the quiet one.
Sorry,
though.
we got fired up. We talk about politics, and I just want to start moshing.
Politics is just one big ass blast.
Well, Chris is all about like shadow government and stuff like that. So.
Oh.
yeah.
So you were upset.
Illuminati.
Let's talk
So you
about
were
your
upset when
jail.
Alex Jones got kicked
No,
off.
no, not really. No, I just don't believe in any of that. I think that's that. I hate to be that guy, but I don't know who they are, but they just want us fighting
The
in a
Jonas
loop,
Brothers.
and that's all it is for years and years, and
Yeah.
it's like driving me crazy. It's
Do you
like,
think that's just human nature? Because I think it's human nature to just want to fight and kill each other. I think that's just what we have. That's why I like good people. I like good people because we all have the ability, no matter what, to fucking kill some. Yes.
Oh, I thought you
totally-
were going to say we all have the ability to be good, and I was going to be like,
No.
Oh,
We
there's some
all,
people that are
here's the
beyond
thing.
reproach.
We all have the ability to be fucking absolute psychotic murderers, no doubt about it. So that's why I actually have more faith in humanity than a lot of people because I know a lot of people who don't do that. So it's like,
Yet.
yeah, sure. But so anyway, that's my take on it. Is like, yeah, I feel like we're all predisposed to be shitty people.
I
and
feel
you
like
give shitty
it
people
might be
power.
environment too. Like
Environment?
that plays a big role. I mean,
Yeah, environment.
I
plays a
mean, if
huge
you
role.
grow up, dirt poor, you're gonna have to maybe do some stuff
Of
you're
course.
not gonna want to do.
No, look at-
but you have to survive.
Look at Colombia, for instance. Look at like Narcos. That show did a great example of showing like you have a gun. That means you have power. That means I can take care of my family. Like that's how it is, and that's how it is in a lot of sections of America. For fuck's sake, like it's totally crazy.
Yeah.
Wild guys. Celebration Guns. New album. September 1st.
Three-peat,
kidding.
baby. September 8th.
September 8th.
Jerk. Thank you for having us. It will probably be a few more years, so just the relief of everyone listening to the nasally voice as mentioned. I won't be back for a few more years.
Why not?
I don't know, because you hate me.
If you
I
took
would love to have you back.
if you took
kidding.
leap years into account, this show should have been on 9/11. Right?
That's true. February 29th,
Is that a fact?
2020
no,
is when I'll be
how
back.
many? 4, 5? No, 9/12.
Why did you go straight 9/11?
Yeah, where did
Is
that
that just
come
on
from?
I
the
was
brain?
trying. Yeah, it's always on the brain. I was trying to tie that
He
in.
never forget to just...
Yeah, he never. Yeah, I
Never
mean,
forgot.
yeah, I never forgot. Well, let's now that this episode's ended with a crash, let's keep on.
Whoa.
Let's get this one closed up for the night. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show. Thank you so much for listening. You have to use the trap
Thanks
punch
for
one more
having us.
time.
I really apologize for this. It's part of my nature.
I hate you.
There we go. Nice little. That was great. Thank you guys so much for listening. Get stoked. All right, time for those Patreon shout-outs. Austin Carson, Every Show Joe, Bradley Palermo, Aubrey Hoffer, my mom, my grandma, Courtney Gallegos, Miguel Lopez, Tom Maxwell, and Bryce Cobble for donating the lights that we use here in the studio. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for listening. And surprise, surprise, more stuff. Aw, shit, look at that. The episode's over, man. We're done. Episode is finished. Luckily, though, there are plenty of other older episodes hanging around the internet anywhere you'd like to find podcasts. iTunes, podcast apps like Stitcher or Podcast Addict for either the iPhone or the Android. My official Podbean website. I'm fucking everywhere, man. I'm building an empire. Let's take over the fucking world. Anyway, if you've made it this far, I truly appreciate you and encourage you to please reach out and say hello. I'm serious about this, guys. I really want to connect with my listeners. So whether you want to come on the show or not, drop me a line. Hit me an email at gettingstokedpodcast@gmail.com, or you can hit me up on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I think that's it, man. Thank you guys so much for listening. It really, I know I harp on it so much, but it really, truly means everything. So thank you. Get stoked.